when I come out and play? Am I just a pawn in your game? I'm gonna grab you by the back of your hair. Yeah, you know you like it that way. Got you down on your knees, yeah, in your black lingerie. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. I just wanna pull you close and make sweet love to you. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. I just wanna pull you close and make sweet love to you. It's getting kinda late, baby. Thinking about me and you in a round two. Would it be too much to ask of you, darling? Thought you might be feeling it too. I can feel the sweat dripping down. I can feel a heart pound away. I'm gonna smack that ass and leave a mark, baby, in your black lingerie. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. I just wanna pull you close and make sweet love to you. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. I just wanna pull you close and make sweet love to you. Pull you close and make sweet love to you. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. I just wanna pull you close and make sweet love to you.
I want to tell you a story, big bad story, from my town, Berkeley, California. Thank you. Do you remember the things you used to do? The bands in the plaza, playing it new, down in the basement. last time. This could be the last time. Better make it count. Do you remember? Do you remember? Well, do you? Do you remember? Do you remember? Remember it. Do you remember? Do you
Butternut Dave, welcome.
Do you remember? Yeah, do you remember?
I didn't announce that I'm on, so nobody really knows at all. But I think I'm going to try to put something up.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Those are the Rubinoos. I've been on a Rubinoos kick lately. I kid you not. I thank you for joining in. I hope you don't mind the Rubinoos. I'm going to play a few more of them. And this one, I'm going to dedicate this to you. And the reason I'm going to do that, and I was kind of waiting for you to show up here one of these days. I didn't know when, but there's this song that they've done on their album called From Home. They recorded this, it was back in like 2018, but they decided to record from home, I guess to save money. And this song is called, now, I'm not the one who titled it, okay, Dave? Just so you know. But I thought of you because it's got your name in it. Masochist Davy. You ready? Don't take it personally if you don't like it. But if you like it, please do take it personally. The Rubinoos here on Studio Chatter Radio.
Mrs. Nice Guy, you got to keep him on his toes. He's got to feel a little danger when you pull him close. You've been soft and cuddly, but not getting anywhere. He'll never be your teddy bear. That's a mistake. Make him cry. That's a mistake. Yeah, he's just that kind of guy. Just that kind of guy. It's about time you learn.
Did you like the tunes?
How he got his name. He don't want your affection unless it's wrapped up in a little pain. You've been sweet, but throw it in reverse. 'Cause nice girls never finish first. That's a mistake. He's only happy when you make him cry. That's a mistake. Yeah, he's just that kind of guy. Just that kind of guy. He's gonna show you things about yourself that you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Go on and try. Hide a little tenderness. See how far it goes. See how far it
That's for you, Dave. Like it or not, whether you find it one of their better songs or not, it's for you. And, I've got to do something for you after all you do with turning me on to some great music. You definitely have a knack for showing me things I haven't heard before. And I love that you do that. I think it's favorable. It works. It helps. I wanted to play something else by them. This one they tend to work in their live set. And it's based on mythology. But I don't think they strive to be accurate with anything, but I do believe it's Greek mythology. This is called Phaedra. Phaedra.
Someday I'll paint my masterpiece, so everyone can see what I see. I'll mix the colors till they explode, with every line a master stroke. I'm gonna capture here and ever after everything you are to me. Ooh, Phaedra, goddess of an ancient age, perfect was the way they made you 7,000 years ago. I see you in the western sky, I hear you when the clouds roll by, rest until you're in my arms, and I feel the beating of your heart. Ooh, am I fooling? Love's an illusion, somewhere out beyond the stars. Ooh, Phaedra, goddess of an ancient age, perfect was the way they made you 7,000 years ago. Whoa, I need a goddess of love to come down here and release me. Don't need no greasy kid stuff, no, no, no. I'll be your king and you'll be my queen. I'm gonna capture here and ever after everything you are to me. Ooh, Phaedra, goddess of an ancient age, perfect was the way they made you 7,000 years ago. Whoa, Phaedra.
One thing I love about this band is when you see them live, they have a way of making it really clear, every word that they sing. And they're very precise with their vocal delivery. They want to articulate very well. They're not sloppy about how they form the words, because they want you to hear every word that they sing. And it's almost as if everything is delivered so carefully that it really lives up to the quality of what you would expect when they put out a studio album. I think they do represent their sound very well. They're definitely not taking an easy way out. I can respect that a lot about them. There are some bands who do some nice recordings, but then when it comes time to perform live, they can't really sing them well. Or they just don't have the articulation in a live setting that they might have had on their studio recording. They get like lazy, sloppy. You know, I hate to name any names, but I am going to name one. I hope it doesn't offend you. I think Debbie Harry just did not ever deliver vocally live the way she could on a recording. Just the vocalizing was much lazier. She took a much lazier way out rather than articulate the way that she did in the studio. And, you know, that's what a lot of singers tend to do, because they can't really hold up in a live setting. So when I name that one name, it doesn't mean that that's the only one. That's certainly not the only one. But it's common. It's very common. But I think the Rubinoos avoid that. All right, that's the only thing I'm going to say that's not favorable. I wanted to share that I am going to be hosting a show. I will be the MC for this event right here. My good friend Dave Revels is going to be performing for his birthday at the Cutting Room in New York City again this year. He did this last year. And he has a great way of putting a show together. His album is called Stories from My Heart. There we go. I got myself on camera. It's a little awkward to do this. Stories from My Heart. I'll be emceeing this. I got offered the opportunity to be the host for this event. And I will introduce Dave, and he will perform songs not just from this album, but other stuff. And I did an interview with him. I'd love to be able to play that interview. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to see if this works. Let's see if I can make this work. I did it on Zoom, just so you know. Just so you know. Okay, Dave Revels interview. Let's see if we can make this happen. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Christine, how you doing?
I am doing well. It's good to see you. It's very good to see you. I'm glad we're able to meet up this way.
I'm happy too. I remember every time that I met you and did things with you, how fun it was. So this is really a great moment to actually be with you again, to talk and to see you.
I feel the same way, because we don't tend to talk this way. I mean, we've had a few phone conversations, but we have not had a face-to-face in a digital format. And I know I prefer analog, I think like you do. I'd rather meet face to face and talk than through a screen, but we'll do the best we can do with what we have.
All righty, I'm ready.
So I'm very excited to know that, first of all, I know you're very accomplished. The audience has to know this too. So I know you have a long history of being involved in music. Why don't you breeze us through the history to get us to where we are today, and then let's get into your work projects.
Well, it started with, I've been singing for, 50 years, professionally, 50 years. And I started out singing a cappella, believe it or not, before I even sang with a band, because I met J. Otis Washington from the Persuasions when I was 15. And that was the catalyst. He taught me so many incredible skills as a arranger, harmonizer, that I was able to join the Drifters and subsequent groups after that. Okay,
let me just ask you then. So you moved from England to the U.S. Did you move straight to Brooklyn? Is that how you met Jay?
I came to Brooklyn. I spent only 2 years in New York, in Brooklyn. And then my mom was Jamaican. So there's a tradition with Jamaican parents, mothers, they send their children home to their families so they can make a living for their children. to support them while they're there and then to be able to bring them back with them in the States. So that was my journey. I stayed in Jamaica with my extended family. And then when I was 11, I came to the United States and I've been living ever since. And because of all those journeys, believe it or not, I lived the American dream, Christine. I went to a famous high school, Erasmus Hall High School. The history is there. Barbara Streisand and so many other people went there.
Yep.
And became a member of a group of the Drifters, another historic American group, and then the Persuasions. And I've been producing shows from that period on. I do a lot of nostalgia productions. I produce rock and roll shows, soul shows, Motown shows, and I have my own career as an independent recording artist and songwriter.
It does seem like you are not one-dimensional. You have your fingers in a variety of pies in order to be well-rounded and involved in music in more than just one way.
For me, it wasn't even by so much design as just by curiosity. I've always leapt at anything that was new and interesting, and I always wanted to learn something I didn't do before, especially in the industry. I started as a background singer, then I learned and worked on being a lead singer. Then I got my own band, and I started arranging the music. Then I started writing the songs. Then I started producing the shows I was on, and one thing after another. So it's a matter of I'm a sponge. I like to learn.
Okay, yeah, like you didn't have one grand overall plan, but you took it step by step, and this is where this path has led you.
Correct. It's a beautiful set of circumstances.
And when you avail yourself of opportunities, this is what happens. I work with students and I tell them you have to crawl before you could walk, and don't leave any stone unturned. If someone gives you a new opportunity, unless there's some glaring reason not to take it, because if you don't take chances in life, you don't grow. The turtle doesn't advance unless it sticks out its neck.
Yeah, and leave pride out of your equation. Don't be proud and prideful when you approach opportunities. Walk in a room with an open mind and open ear, and be humble and understand that everybody in a room has something to teach you. Just open your mind and ears to the opportunity.
Yep, because also you're much more likable, personable, and engaging if you're humble than if you're this pompous person who's got this, I know everything. I already know it all. I'm not going to learn. Do you ever run into people who resist learning, even though they come to you for lessons or for advice? Like in my position, I give advice. That's what I'm paid to do in one of my aspects of life, because I do more than one thing myself. And then I find that even though they're coming to me for advice, they don't always want to take it. So even as a person who's in a position of leadership at times, I find it hard to lead much more than the horse to water sometimes, if someone's really resistant to taking the advice.
Well, my role, my approach to people is this. If you don't ask me, I'm not going to really teach you anything, because you obviously don't need the information. So I don't force information on people. You can tell when somebody wants to learn something because they give that off. They give that feeling to you that they're open to an idea. But some people feel they've arrived already. But to me, in the arts, it's like the martial arts. You'll never perfect it. You'll always be improving. I mean, I listen to songs I've written or songs I've performed with other artists, and to this day, I still go back to the recordings and I hear a new nuance, because I realize I don't know it all, and there's always something more to learn. That's what art is. Art is subjective, and it's always changing.
Yeah.
Always moving.
But what I and it's interesting you mentioned, I don't want to get too far, of course, but now that you captured my interest with, you say you go back to listen to some, old material, and you hear stuff you hadn't heard before, because everything is so nuanced. But one thing that makes that possible, I notice, is the way if something has been remastered, you hear stuff that you didn't hear before, or you're listening on a piece of better equipment, and you can hear stuff and pick up on stuff, thinking now, before I used to be a casual listener, and now I could hear in depth all of these things going on, and it makes the the experience of listening so much more joyful. And that's also how I feel about when I listened to your release, Stories from My Heart. I didn't memorize the title, but I cheated just now looking. But Stories from My Heart, the first few times I listened, it wasn't with headphones, and it wasn't on the best piece of equipment. And I was kind of at a distance, and I was maybe cleaning the house or something like that. So I didn't get to hear all of the nuances and all the work that went into this until I actually did a scratch show. I recorded a podcast that was it was meant to be practice. And I held on to it for a few weeks. And then I decided, I haven't turned in a podcast in a while. I don't have any material planned. You know what? I'll turn in that practice session because I made a few mistakes, flubs. I said the wrong song. I maybe, stuck my foot in my mouth a few times, but I was all well-intentioned. And so I submitted it anyway to hudsonriverradio.com. So if you go there, hudsonriverradio.com, you'll hear my practice session talking about you entirely, Dave. I did it totally on you. And I played music. I played every single one of these cuts. And I played some of the other stuff that you've sent me and some other stuff I discovered on YouTube. And I did some of your work with the Persuasions as well. Some of my favorite things from the Knockin' on Bob's Door release. And I found a couple of things online I didn't know existed. I even saw myself on video.
Oh, yeah. Back at, I remember that show.
Well, first of all, from the cutting room, I saw myself. I saw myself on video, but I have some video clips of what I produced with the Persuasions. There at an a cappella show that I had put together.
I know. My brain is trying to remember the title of the venue, but I remember very well because Sweet Joe Russell was still with us then. Yeah, I remember that show. Something Alley.
Mexicali. It was
Mexicali.
Yes. But it's under a different name now, so it's a different thing.
Yeah, I remember that night very well.
Yeah, we took some nice pictures. I have one framed. I have a nice one framed. I wish I had it in my hand. I'd show it because I love show and tell.
Take a picture and send it to me.
Yes, I wanted to show it here though, but it's over there. I'd have to get up and walk over there.
Wait, let me look.
You see it? It's in the living room. It's on top of the TV stand.
Man.
But anyway, I could actually run and get it because I like to show it. But I want you to talk. I will get it. It'll take me 30 seconds. But I want you to talk about the upcoming show at the Cutting Room, which I could talk about too, but so can you, because I want people to go to it while I'm gone, and I'll be right back.
I'll do it.
Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Hey, folks, how you doing? My great friend Christine Vitale has invited me to be here with you guys. I'll be appearing at the Cutting Room. That's 44 East 32nd Street in Manhattan. It's a great room. It's got this beautiful stained glass chandelier made of guitars, Stratocaster guitars. It's a fantastic venue, beautiful woodwork and all that. And I'll be there doing my original material, a set of my own. So again, in the Cutting Room, Tuesday, September 12th at 7 p.m., 44 East 32nd Street.
What made you choose the Cutting Room?
Well, I first went there because my former publicist and very good friend now, George Dassinger, he was our publicist for a while with the Persuasions. And after Jimmy passed, we wanted to do a memorial service for Jimmy at the venue in Manhattan. And George knows the owner, Steve, and he said this would be a great place to do it. So going in there for the Persuasions Memorial, I fell in love with the room. It's beautiful. It's organic. It's a lot of woodwork. It's just it's beautiful. It's like going to a Baroque room, the Baroque artwork, kind of a thing. So it's very old-fashioned, tables and chairs, very cozy, and great ambiance. So
yes,
it's like a living room, and I like to perform it.
Yeah, I love it too. The picture that I was talking about, I'm holding it right in my hand, but I did want to say I wanted to add my 2 cents in. The cutting room's ambiance is absolutely gorgeous. It's nice to be able to see you in a place that's got an element of class to it, rather than go to some dingy club where we gotta, where you could see how grimy it is, and we all have to stand all night. It's nothing like that. You get to sit down, you get table service. The food is excellent there, and the ambiance, it's nice, and it's very photogenic too. There's lots of collectibles around, so people who like to take their own selfies, there's lots of reasons to want to go to the cutting room, and especially on the night of Tuesday, September 12th. So I like when I plug a show, I like to plug the place too, because I'm not sure of all the different things that makes everybody excited to go, but I love the holistic experience. Certainly the artist, if it, I have to want to see the artist, but if I know that there's other good things to see and do, and rooms to walk through, or a little catwalk like they have there, it's fun. It's fun. Here we are.
Oh man, take me back, won't you?
Yeah.
See Joe Russell, Ray Sanders, Bernard B.J. Jones.
Yep.
Jimmy Hayes. Oh God, Christine, you gotta give me a copy of that, man. I miss those guys so much,
I will do that. The weird thing about this, that we had a lot of photographers. Here I am peeking around it. We had a lot of photographers taking pictures. So we weren't all looking at the same person at the same time. And some people say, the thing that's weird about this photo, Christine, is you're looking at somebody different than everybody else is looking. So
that's what they have when you're paparazzi.
Yeah. And I say, well, we're not that well organized. Like, I don't know, maybe I could have pointed to each person and we could have all aimed that way. But then, it's a bit contrived and it's less natural. But I wanted to show this and let everybody get a good look at it. I loved the fact that you guys were there, and such good sports, and loved to pose for the camera. And it made the night so much fun, because after each group performed, we went over to stage left and did, got some photos taken, but there were so many people with cameras. So
I'll give you a little sidebar with that. Years ago, I was a photographer for a black newspaper. And in 1980, I went to the premiere of Stir Crazy, Sidney Poitier's movie with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
It was a Tavern in the Green, and all the paparazzi were on this side taking pictures of those four guys and snapping. So I walked behind Sidney Poitier and Richard Pryor and all those guys, and I took a picture of the paparazzi. And it's the wildest picture you want to see. 50 cameras bucking for position. Is the wild scenes, like a zoo animal thing. But it is try. When you stand in front of that many cameras, you are going to be looking 10 different directions. But that makes a picture too.
Yeah, because if everything is so perfect and contrived, it's not really believable and it's not natural. Which brings me to you and your project one more time, and your recording process, because I was poking around previous interviews that people have done with you and listening to some of them. And in doing so, I hear sometimes questions that I think, okay, that's been asked a lot. That's been asked a lot. This hasn't been asked a lot, but it's being asked here, but maybe it hasn't been over asked. And I know you were asked, do you prefer analog or digital? And one of the things that you said is you prefer analog for the very reason that it's less, it's more natural, and it's less than perfect. And I think we like things, you and I both, things that are less than perfect, because if everything's too perfect, like retouched photos to the point where a person doesn't even look like a real person anymore.
Just look on social media, you'll see that.
Yeah. So with your recording, I prefer analog too, and analog over digital, but there are some benefits to digital. There are certainly a lot of benefits to digital, but it does create a more sterile or clinical, sanitized sound a lot of the time, if you're not making conscious choices to avoid the trappings of definitely digital without a mistake. Like if things are so digital sounding, it really sounds crummy. So in your project, there's a lot of earthy sounds. How did you spend the bulk of these recordings? I know you couldn't have done them all on the same day at the same time, did you? Did you
No,
do them in different places? Because
different places.
okay, because not that I'm an expert, but I try to be as close. I try to learn as much as possible, like you do, like a sponge. I listen and I say, okay, I don't think all of these songs were recorded at the same time on the same day, which I think makes something a lot more interesting, because each song has a different style and a different fabric to it. But even the recording technique seems, the sounds are different. They're not like it, they don't all sound like it was done at the same time. But I like that fact, by the way, because it makes it more like a personal project rather than something that was corporate. Like it doesn't sound like a corporate. This is not a corporate release. It doesn't sound corporate. Now, it doesn't sound that way. Like it sounds more personalized and in its sonic quality. But I also want to talk to you about how you. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. One thing I was alluding to before when we were talking about leadership. If this is your recording project, then I take it that I would say that you're the one in charge. However, you said something really interesting that I read, that it's the song that's in charge. Like
Very much.
yeah. So, but somebody's got to give guidance. Like when you write a song and it's your piece you've written, and even if whether you have co-writers or not, you're the one there recording it. How do you give guidance to individuals about what you're looking for? Like if you have some instrumentalist who's bringing in their instrument, do you describe it like, I want you to try to give me something that sounds solemn, sad, or country, or warm? Or how do you do that? How do you guide people?
Well, for me, is someone asks me what instrument do I play, and I tell them I don't play. I play musicians in a positive way. I have a bank of musicians that I know their musical stylization, how they play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just their musicianship, I also know their personalities. And so when I'm going to record certain songs, there's specific people that I call based on those qualities. People are open-minded. Now, when I'm going to do a song, before I even bring it to a musician, I've already worked out most of the parts. Like the guitar, when I write songs, I hear guitars in my head. So I write the guitar riffs in my head. I know how I want the guitar to strum it. So when I say to them, here's what I want you to play for me. Strum it this way. Do this for me.
So
Solo.
you try to sing it to them?
I sing. I
Okay.
sing. Otis Redding used to do that. I was told with horn parts. He used to sing the horn parts to the players. But that's what I do. I'll sing it to them. I said, this is how I want you to do it. You know, do this, lay back a little bit like that. And then I know their musicianship. So I don't believe in walking into a room if I don't know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know where you're going and you bring musicians into a room, they are going to take it. Because they are going to take a piece based on their understanding of creativity or music. So if you don't know where you want to go with it, you leave yourself wide open to coming out with a song that's not what you intended.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me when I first started, because I lacked confidence in myself as a young person to just assert my ideas. But I've learned if I want a song to sound a certain way, I have to know what I want. I have to know how the bass should be playing, what kind of drum pattern I want. So when I gather them together, so okay, here's the song, you know. And I've had a great musical partner. His name is William Wiest. He's been Gloria Gaynor's music director and Little Anthony's musical director. And he knows me like I know my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where I want to go. So he's my technical ear with that. So he knows where I want to go. So he helps guide the situation. But I think as an artist, an original artist, you got to know what you want. You have to know what your concept is. So that's my approach. And when I record, I don't use a click track.
Well, that's
Okay.
good.
I don't
Well,
know.
I think that's part of what makes this sound organic.
Mhm,
As like I speak a lot about what, how digital and all the technology
mhm.
makes things sound artificial or too sanitized or too sterile. And now you just saying that you don't use a click track, that's an example, hitting the nail on the head of that's one reason why I, don't. That's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to this project.
Mhm.
But so you mentioning that, it's like, okay, that validates one aspect of it. Go ahead. You can keep talking.
So, and when I'm recording, I do live off the floor most of the time, meaning that I'm in a booth looking with side line of sight to all the musicians. So when to count off the song, I'm singing my lead from top to bottom. I don't come back in and do a second verse over. I'll do maybe 2 or 3 takes.
Mhm.
Once the rhythm is locked, I go in with them and do it live with them in the studio. So all my songs are recorded from top to bottom. There's nothing where I come in and sing a verse and go back and sing a second verse over. I like to do a live kind of performance because I like to perform and record in a way I know I can recreate every sound I make live. You know,
Yeah, yeah, because
that's just the idea.
there are some musicians, even some very notable ones who are well respected, who do have a tendency to run away with this idea of recording some project that they are far from able to recreate live.
No, I
And
got to do it live. Got to be
and
able to do it live.
and I want to commend you on also the variety of musical styles. You definitely are created. Every song's got its own character, and some of them, it's a lot of feel good songs. Um, the musical styles are different. The subject matter each has its own aspect of positivity or feel good kind of philosophy, or there's like I don't want to say lessons in morality, but let's say lessons in honesty and sincerity woven into the content of this material, including stuff that you put out since then, like uh um one one man woman.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say one woman man because, but
That's too
but
one man.
like yes, it's similar, but that would be a similar philosophy. But the
But
idea,
that's in the song. That's in the song. One woman man is also.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure I got this title correct, your
Mhm.
title. But like you have a lot of yourself in and your philosophy and your character, your being in woven into the writing of your songs, which brings me to another question. Do you ever feel that maybe you're going to run out of ideas, or do you ever feel like you're putting too much of yourself into to these songs that you're writing, and that you might start to run out of ideas? And if that happens, what are you going to start writing about?
I don't think I'll run out of ideas because I don't wake up this morning and say I'm going to write this kind of song. My songs are generated from simple things like I'm walking the street and I overhear a conversation, or I witness something that moves me, that triggers something in me. Um, so my songs are sometimes personal, and a lot of them are observational,
Mm-hmm.
where I overhear people or I know people having a situation. And like for instance, a song called "100,000 Million Reasons." He's a very good friend of mine, a musician. We wrote together, and he was having a very difficult time in his relationship, and they were about to break up. But I could see, and I asked him, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be all right without him." But it bothered me because I know he wouldn't be, and neither would she, because they need each other. So the song "100,000 Million Reasons" was based on the relationship where I'm saying when you met somebody, you had 100,000 million reasons why you loved them. So you should try to find 100,000 million reasons one to stay. If it's not a physical abusive relationship, it's just you're having a tough time in life where outside forces are affecting you. Think about that a little bit and rethink the idea of just walking away. So I don't think I can run out of ideas because it's always something that's triggering my thoughts. Because like you're always thinking about things. So as a songwriter, we're just like our thoughts. I dare you to go for a whole day without thinking about several things or 100 things in one day. So to me, songwriting is the same philosophy.
So have you ever reached a point at which that, so then I guess it stands to reason you probably have never reached a point where you said to yourself, I got to start finding some new ideas. Where should I go for inspiration? Have you ever done that? Because I do that as a writer, not a songwriter, a literary writer.
I'll
I
tell you what happened to me, Christine. It's very specific. Years ago, I was writing a lot of songs, songs that just forcing out of me. And then I artificially stopped myself. I said, I got enough songs now. Let me stop writing now. Just focus on what I've written. And for 10 years, I had a block because I cut my muse off artificially, and it wasn't until I started working with some creative writers and listened to the material I'm working with it that my head just exploded again with ideas because I was full of myself from it. I thought I'd written enough songs, So I learned don't artificially just stop because you have a glut of work in front of you. So what? There's no time limit on getting through them. Just keep doing what you're doing because you never know what you're going to find. So I learned that lesson the hard way.
Oh,
So,
well,
yeah.
but you also learned it. You learned the lesson on your own. At least nobody was cracking a whip on you saying, Dave, you're not producing. Come on. Nobody's doing that to you.
Well,
So at
I
least
tell you what happened. I got distracted by working with other people. I started doing productions for other people, arranging other people's music. So that kept me going. So I didn't have the pressure of that. I was working. I was in a business. After a while, I decided I got tired of it. I want to get back to me.
Oh, that's a good philosophy. And maybe because you took a break from it, you were starting to and getting tired of it. It inspires you to write again and write more again. We are starting to run short on time. We have less than 3 minutes left. I love the fact that we had this conversation. I want to make sure we're talking about your upcoming birthday bash show at the Cutting Room again. Let's blow that up again before we part company. I'm very excited about it, and I hope I'll have a seat down towards the front somewhere. I mean, I don't want to block your fans who are racing for the stage and trying to rip your clothes off. I'm exaggerating. It's not Elvis. Yeah, but I just on Tuesday, September 12th at the Cutting Room, a beautiful venue with a fantastic show. I want to credit you from having seen you before. You really know how to pace a show. You know how to work in different elements to make sure you're pacing it properly, or I should say tastefully, with up tempos, something slower, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You don't just hit us in a one-dimensional way and overdo it. Some people
I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know everybody in the room. It's a very personal thing for me to perform. It's not just standing there trying to look good or cute. I really want to relate to you. I want to get to know you in that time I'm with you. So my songs are stories about life. So if you come, you're going to be hearing stories about life, and you might find some of your stories in there. So I really want to see you. Come on out.
That's great. Yep. So Tuesday, September 12th at 7 p.m. The Cutting Room in New York City. Tickets are available I saw an Eventbrite link.
Just go to Cutting Room and you can tap on my picture and it takes you right to the ticket link.
Okay.
Really.
All right. And I'm hoping a lot of people are going to do that. And, because we need to celebrate Dave's birthday with Dave. How often can people get to do that?
Well, I hope somebody has a birthday the 12th too and come celebrate their birthday with my birthday. So let's find the people who are born on September 12th and come hang out with me.
Yeah, that's right. Let's say, you could piggyback off of Dave's birthday. Anyway, Dave, we got to run or we're going to get cut off. I loved this conversation. I can't wait to see you. Talk to you soon, Dave. All right.
Love you.
Take care. Bye. And that right there was my interview with Dave Revels. Let me switch headphones here so I can hear myself. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had, that we shared. There were so many things more I would have asked him about the recording, but I knew we had a limited amount of time. I am very pleased to announce this show. I will be the MC for this show. I'm so happy that he invited me to introduce him and to be the host for the show. At the Cutting Room in New York City, let me check out the address again. I haven't committed it to memory. 44 East 32nd Street. Yeah, 44 East 32nd Street. I'm glad you liked the interview, Butternut Dave. I hope you found it informative. I'm gonna play something off the album. He talked about this one song, 100,000 Million Reasons. And of course, Butternut Dave, I know this is going to be just between us, but when I hear 100,000 Million Reasons, what song by what band do you think I'm thinking of? I know you know, but this song is nothing like that song. Of course, 100,000 Years by Kiss, but this is nothing like it. So let's listen to 100,000 Million Reasons, which he talked about in this interview where a couple is about to break up and the guy is telling him, his friend is telling him, well, I'll be all right. But he knows, Dave knows that he's not going to be all right. These two love each other. They're just going through hard times. And you know, a lot of times relationships fall apart. Not because two people don't love one another, but when pressures are on and people are pulled in different directions, or a lot of challenges are faced, like things about budget or schedules or obligations, and priorities have to be shifted. That puts a strain on a relationship a lot of times. And this is what was happening in this song, 100,000 Million Reasons, written by Dave Revels, and he enlisted the help of a co-writer, William Wiest. Nothing like 100,000 years, but really good.
Looking back at all that we've been through, times I
Dave.
said I never needed
I
you.
am doing well. It's
But
good
when
to
I
see you.
thought I had 100,000
I'm glad we're able to meet up.
million little
I'm having too,
reasons
I
why,
remember every
now
time
how I have
met you, I
them,
did things with you, how fun it was.
it's not enough for me to say goodbye. How can I go? How can you say goodbye?
Hello, Vicky G.
Pretending that
This is Dave Revels we're listening to. 100,000 Million Reasons. Dave will be at the Cutting Room in New York City this Tuesday, September 12th. I'm happy to be hosting it for him, his birthday bash.
I still can see a chance for you and I, a chance that we might try. Thinking of all the plans I'd made with you, we said forever we would see them through. We used to have about 100,000 million little reasons why. Remember when love was enough? Now it seems we cut and run as things get tough. How can you go? How can you say goodbye? Pretending there is nothing to being left behind. How can I go? How can I say goodbye? When I close my eyes, I still can see a chance for you and I, a chance that we might try. They say that nothing lasts forever. That don't make me feel any better knowing that it's true. If I had my stay. A million reasons to love you. 100,000 million reasons. 100,000 million reasons to try. Stay home and love you.
That's Dave Revels, and appearing at the Cutting Room this coming Tuesday. I got to make sure I get there early because I'll be introducing Dave. We'll be celebrating his birthday, and if you have a birthday on September 12th or on or about September 12th, come on out and piggyback off of Dave's birthday bash. He's the one throwing the party. You come in and act like it's yours too. It'll be a party for us all. Let us listen to Love Potion number 10. I know. You think Love Potion number 9, that's the name of the song. No, he wrote this one, and it borrows from Love Potion number 9 at the bridge. You're going to hear that. But this is Love Potion number 10, Dave Revels. Right here at Studio Chatter Radio. Christine Vitale's vocal groups and other music for undeniable gratification. I must tell you, I lined up the wrong song. You know, I don't see very well. This is the song. Forgive me.
I saw her, I was a boy, barely half a man. She put a whammy on me, the likes that I'd never seen, and I haven't been the same since then. Nancy Black is gypsy queen out of New Orleans, specializing in a spell or two. She said, come here, son, let me whisper in your ear and sprinkle some of this just on you. You see, it's not 1, 2, 3, or even 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. This time it's 10. Love potion. She said 10, man. Love potion. I mean 10. She said it's love potion. Yeah. Love potion. Now strange things started happening, like pianos playing out of tune, guitars floating in the air, people playing disappear, even cows jumping over the moon. It got wild, a little crazy. I had no idea when I said, "Gypsy, cash your spare." She said, "No, but I was a guest, but this one here's my best, and I've been saving it just for you." You see, it's not 1, 2, 3, or even 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. It's time, it's 10. She said 10. Not 9, you see. She said 10. Might complain, but truth is they never had so much fun. You know they ran up to me to ask the gypsy would she mix them a bottle or 2, maybe 3. I said, man, you ain't crazy. You got no idea what kind of mess this woman spell can do. I got in trouble with one sip. You drink that bottle, you flip. You better think before you do. You see, it's not 1, 2, 3, or even 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. It's time, it's 10. She said 10. I mean, not 9. She said 10. You believe me? 10. Not 9. She said 10. She said 10.
Love Potion number 10. Did you hear that sign of Love Potion number 9 in there? I'm sure you did, at the bridge. I'm really liking this album, Stories from My Heart. And, when I was asking Dave about writing songs, like he's writing from his heart, and a lot of these songs are very positive outlooks on life that make either, that imply values and principles by which a person lives their lives. And that's why I asked him, if you write about this kind of stuff from your heart, your life experiences and your stories, and they are about what you're experiencing and how you feel about things, do you ever run out of ideas? Do you ever say, I need to start writing about other things? Which had me thinking about, all these other bands. Like, let's say I suddenly jumped to, not in this conversation with Dave, but in my mind, take the rock bands of the 70s, like the early 70s. What were they writing about? Well, a lot of it was metaphorical, but they would fabricate stories, a fictitious story, let's say, or create a scenario, a story, and turn it into a song. And one thing that comes to mind, for example, if I think about Grand Funk Railroad, right? Writing about being a captain of the ship is being overtaken, he's being overthrown as the captain. How does a person cope with that? That's a story that's fabricated, and that's a way to write a song. Come up with a story. It doesn't have to be your own. It doesn't have to incorporate your personal values when you start needing other ideas. And then I began thinking about some Kiss songs. And the Kiss songs are really interesting in some ways because they do something similar, but sometimes I just think they find words that sound really cool and have no concept of what they mean, and they just put them together. And it's not necessarily making any sort of a story. Or it is a story, but the story can be summed up in one sentence. Okay, I'll be frank with you about this. Let's take a song like a song like Christine 16. Gene Simmons has his eye on a young girl, a schoolgirl, who's in high school, and he's following her from home because he has to have her. And he keeps stalking her. But she's entertaining the idea. She's welcoming to it. That's the story. Yeah, Dave, very funny, oversimplified. Here's another story, okay? A song of Kiss, all right, Take Me. Paul Stanley is riding in what I imagine to be a limo, okay, because, he's a rock star. And there's a girl in the back seat performing a function on him, and her name is Lucille, and her mother didn't know she was there. That's the story. That's it. That's the song. That's the story of the song. So they really simplify things. I mean, down to a sexual act. Take the song Love Gun. Kiss, Love Gun. That's a song of Paul Stanley singing about his anatomical feature and what it has to offer to a woman. That's the song. But those are Kiss songs. Now, when I was mentioning Grand Funk Railroad and I'm Your Captain, which is like a combination of a song. They're lost at sea, I guess, and then they start getting closer to home because maybe they're finding their way. That to me is a little bit more comprehensive and well thought out. And it's a higher caliber of of writing, when you actually put some thoughts into it and don't just reduce it to one sexual act like the kiss approach sometimes is. Now, to be fair, I mean, I think they've taken other concepts and wrote a story about it. Like a song called Cold Gin is about drinking gin in a cold place. The loft that they used to practice in was cold, and they used to, you know, pass around a bottle of wine, I think, to try to keep warm. I want to play, though, this Grand Funk Railroad performance. It's a live performance, which was really, really good, so that you can hear the story. And it's nice to be able to make up a story. You can fabricate a story. It could be an imaginary story, because it makes it more like a storybook. It's a very different style of writing than writing from your heart. So it's different. And it's nice that there's so many different ways to and perspectives from which to write a song. And we often don't think about this or talk about it, but it's true. It's so true. So let's give a listen to some Grand Funk Railroad. It's so true. Let's give a listen to some. I have to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, I think I can make this work. Tell me, let's make sure you're going to hear the music, though. Because maybe I'm not doing it right. Okay, here we go. Because maybe I'm not doing it right. Okay, here we go. Because maybe I'm not doing it right. Okay, here we go. Because maybe I'm not doing it right. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm failing to do this correct. This is what happens when I don't do Twitch in a while. I forget some of these details about what I'm supposed to be doing to make this run. Why I'm hearing sounds double, so I have to... I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll try it one more time. See if you can hear what's going on. Okay, I must apologize. I'm overlooking something that should be obvious to me, and I can't figure out what it is. So I can't play that. I can't play that. Sorry. Got to scratch that. I got to go with something else. Now, so let me ask you, let me poll you guys. What do you want to hear? I can't, do you want to hear other stuff or you want to hear vocal group stuff? Yes, Grand Funk Railroad were one of my, I won't say one of my earliest favorite bands. I won't say that, but I will say one of the earliest things I've ever listened to, because I had family members, I had siblings who were older who used to play that stuff, and I was exposed to hard rocking music at a very early age. And then some of it I started to like. Even though I was exposed to other things as well, I began to like some of that stuff. I wish I knew what I was doing wrong so I could have played you that show, because it's really good. It really is well done. But meanwhile, I'll just say, I hope you'll be coming to the Dave Revels show on Tuesday, September 12th at 7 p.m. at the Cutting Room in New York City. It's a very delightful atmosphere, has a lot of ambiance to it, and it's well worth it to go see a show there, but especially when you have a performer like Dave, and I greatly encourage it. I'll be there having fun, so I hope you'll be having fun with me. And it would be nice if I could see some of my followers that are not necessarily here in Twitch right now, but followers on Facebook, followers on my various pages and groups, and those who follow me on Instagram, all handful of you. I'm talking about. All right. I have something I want to play. This is Rubinoo's material, because I don't want to overdo it with anything. And wouldn't it be nice if you came out to the Cutting Room? Wouldn't it be nice? That's the name of this tune. The Rubinoos. I'm Rubinoo's crazy. Check this out.
Could you come over tonight? Nobody's home, nobody save me. See if it's alright. Tell him we're going out for a movie. I need to feel you next to me. I need for you to kiss me lovingly. I can't wait another minute now. Could you come over tonight? Could you come over tonight? See if it's alright. Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? We can do things the right way. No more driving away to be alone. Now it's time for play. 'Cause they're gone for the rest of the weekend. I need to feel you next to me. I need for you to kiss me lovingly. I can't wait another minute now. Could you come over tonight? Could you come over tonight? See if it's alright. Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? Wouldn't it be nice to be together tonight? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Taste a little spice. Wouldn't it be
See, that got a little trippy. I thought it got a little psychedelic there. I sensed the psychedelica in the fabric of that song. Wouldn't it be nice? And I have another one. This one is one of my latest favorites of the Rubinoos. It's called Amnesia, because, you know, when you need to forget about somebody, because maybe you broke up and you got to get them out of your head, you could try hitting your head someplace and see if that will do the job of giving you amnesia so that you won't be in pain anymore over a lost loved one. I think that's what this one's about. Okay, wait, that's not that one. I'm sorry. I'm really screwing up. I'm stuck the wrong CD in. Give me a moment. I'm going to fix this. But that's what this is about, I think. I think it's a breakup, and he's still stuck on thinking about her, so I think the only way he could cure himself is if he hits his head so that he gets amnesia, and then this is the only coping strategy he knows.
The Rubinoos.
Amnesia.
Time is ticking. I've been thinking, too much thinking of you.
Hello, Joey.
Gone forever, all ties severed.
Hello, Blaze.
Guess I'll never have a clue. I keep trying to start from my life is stone. Hitting my head against the wall. Amnesia, the only way I know to feel better tonight. Amnesia, the
I just love the Rubinoos. I could listen to them for a few hours straight because they have a lot of material that they recorded over the decades. And some of it they re-recorded, some of it are covers, and some are self-penned tunes or takeoffs on something that somebody wrote, and maybe they take a twist and turn it into something else. But there's something so special about this group, the Rubinoos. When they come to the East Coast, I have to go see them. I have to. I feel each time I see them, maybe this is going to be the last time I see them. And they're such sweet and endearing people. I mean, so genuine. And that actually surprises me with how much, I mean, for me personally, they engage in conversation and how much they remember from our previous meetings and our previous discussions. They're very personable. And I see them talking to other people that way too. So it makes the experience that much more special. It's not just going to see a band and going home. They invite me, to spend time. They spend time talking. And, well, we go back many years. So maybe there's enough substance there to make a conversation. But it just feels so good to meet up with people who I don't see very often, and I get to see them again, and I treat each experience like it might be the very last, so that I can savor it and be grateful for it and not just take it for granted. And I cling to every song and word and the way that they sing it and the way that they handle stuff on the stage, because it might not happen again. Nobody's getting younger. They come from the West Coast. They have to come to the East Coast. They don't get to tour a lot. And their tour this time around, they felt very shortchanged by their booking agent, who did not give them a lot of gigs. It wasn't well planned for business, from a business point of view. Okay, one more with them. While I try to figure out how to listen to stuff off the computer, I'm doing something incorrect. I'm going to try to figure it out. Okay. I'm starting to get some ideas about what I might have to do. All right, so let's give one more listen to the Rubinoos. This is So Much for Fairy Tales. Oh, but maybe we'll do an instrumental of theirs too. Okay, this is very haunting. So Much for Fairy Tales.
Who's that standing in the mirror, wearing no expression, just a vacant stare? He's got eyes that look so bloodshot, happy as a together once upon a time. It's all but faded now. Looks like the same old story. So much for fairy tales, so much for love everlasting, blue skies and happy trails. So much for fairy tales, so much for fairy tales. Night after sleepless night, taking their toll on me now. So much for fairy tales, so much for love everlasting, blue skies and happy trails. So much for fairy tales, so much for fairy tales, so much for fairy tales, so much for fairy tales.
You know, their songwriting is very diverse, and that's one of the reasons that I can appreciate a band or an artist when they're capable of writing in different styles. And, you know, I might have said how I came to appreciate the Rubinoos, and certainly part of it was growing up and buying magazines like 16 magazine and those teenage magazines because I was interested in Kiss. I started to notice these features on the Rubinoos. And I won't say that I specifically became a fan back then, but I was hearing a couple of their songs on the radio. They did have some hits, and they weren't major mega hits, but they did have some hits. And I had an awareness of them, and then I kind of forgot about them until years later when I met the Mighty Echoes, and the Mighty Echoes came to be guests on my FM radio show like 3 separate times. But the first time that they came, I didn't know too much about the Mighty Echoes. I had only a mild interest in interviewing them. They asked me if I would interview them, and I don't like to say no to people. They were coming to the East Coast from the West Coast, and John Rubin of the Mighty Echoes said, and my other group, the Rubinoos, and that's when I put 2 and 2 together. I said, the Rubinoos? That's your group? And they became so special to me from that point forward. The Mighty Echoes are an a cappella group. The Rubinoos was a group that John Rubin put together probably around 1970. I mean, they were very, very young when they started out. Very young. If you look at their first album, they are young. And they took a hiatus. They were together for a number of years. And for about 25 of those years, they didn't perform at all. They have their reasons. They call it mysterious reasons. But they had their reasons. And then they came back on the scene and they, started touring. They were very popular in Japan. So Japan and in Europe is where they enjoy some success. Not necessarily tremendous success in New Jersey, but certainly plenty of people filled up when I went to go see them in the Bowery at Bowery Electric. That place was elbow to elbow, and I was surprised to see that. I mean, not that it's a huge club, but there wasn't any wiggle room in that club. That's dedication, especially for a band that's from the West Coast that really didn't establish much of a footprint on the East Coast. To see that kind of a cult following and these people who really loved seeing them. They just are so special with the way that they deliver a show. I don't want to keep belaboring them, but I think I figured out how to play stuff on the computer again. See, not being on Twitch makes me forget these things. I don't come on Twitch often enough because I feel overwhelmed. And part of my problem is, some of you know, I have major sleep issues. Like major, to me it feels major, to the point where I'm not sleeping well at night. I'm waking up a lot. And during the day, I'm falling asleep. I fall asleep standing up. This is how bad this can get for me. So I've been trying all different things to try to cope with this. And one problem seems to lead to another. So I don't want to belabor the point. It's depressing kind of to me. But I happen to feel pretty good right now. But there's a lot of times I come home from work and my wish is to be streaming, but I just fall asleep. And I can't. I go on my yoga mat to go do my exercises and I just fall asleep. I wake up like hours later. Or what feels like at least an hour or two later. And then I have trouble sleeping through the night. But, okay, enough of sleep talk. Let us see if we can get this Grand Funk Railroad thing on. If I could do it right this time, then I can move on to that other New Jersey band that Dave, Butternut Dave, likes so much that you hardly ever hear anybody talking about. But they did make their mark. And I'm talking about the Smithereens. But right now, Grand Funk Railroad, I'm your captain. Here we go. We were talking about songwriting before. This is a live concert from Shea Stadium in 1971. Now, I wasn't there. I had been born, but I was a little too young. And, it could have been a great thing. I'm sure it was because it looks it from the appearance of things. From the appearance. Okay, I'm still struggling. I am struggling here. So that's not correct. Must be something with my hookup. So I have to pass because I'm not going to stand up here and keep embarrassing myself. I'll grab other music so I don't kill you with the Rubinoos all night. I have plenty of vocal group music, but I have other stuff too. I tend to grab the same things unless I really take a thought to mix it up a bit. I'm going to have to do this or have a conversation about this to find out what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm not on. I can deal with it. I can't handle all this pressure when I'm on. Not that it's major pressure. But what can I do? I can't figure it out here. And I know it's just a minor adjustment. Okay. Some of you like vocal group stuff more than others. but I hope you'll like this. Wait, I gotta count. They don't number CDs right. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. If I have this right, Butternut Dave should love this song. It's his song.
I'm a lemon squeezing daddy and I just got back in town. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm a lemon squeezing daddy and I just got back in town. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Way out in California where they grow so big and round. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm a lemon squeezing daddy and I just got back in town. Do-do-do-do-do. Way out in California where they grow so big and round.
My father was a Presbyterian, I taught the school. Went every day to learn the lemon squeeze.
Yeah, lemon squeezing daddy, and I just got back in town. Way out in California where they grow so big and round. Got fruits in your basket, lemons on the shelf. Lemon squeezing baby, got squeezing yourself. Yeah, lemon squeezing daddy, and I just got back in town. Way out in California where they grow so big and round.
I went to the grave, fell on my knees, a chick rose from the grave just to see me there.
Yeah, lemon squeezing daddy, and I just got back in town. Way out in California where they grow so big and round. Lemon, lemon lying all around.
Yes,
Yeah, lemon lying all around. Way out in California where they grow so big and round.
So yeah, Dave, as I recall, that was one of your tunes. That's one of your tunes. See, my problem is I can't play stuff off of my computer because of something that I'm not able to figure out. So I can't play Cheap Trick because I only have their music that way. And I'm actually accessing it from YouTube. But no matter what the platform I take it from, I'm having a problem with the a setting. I have a setting that's not correct. And it's a shame because I would grab stuff off the computer a lot. I'm just drawing a blank on trying to figure it out. Here's one of my songs. All right, that was the Sultans. Here's the Sophomores. The Sophomores met the Sultans. They were both recording for the same label, and that's why they met. They use the term meet. It's very figurative. What can I do?
What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? To make you love me, to make you tingle to my touch, to prove to you I care so much. I know that I must find a way to make you love me, for I only live so I can give my heart to you. At last I found my dream come true. I found my dream come true. But how can I be sure you want me to? You want me to. What can I do? What can I do? To make you love me. To make you understand my heart. Would surely break if we should part. I know that I must find a way to make you love me. For I only live so I can give my heart to you. At last, I found my dream come true. I found my dream come true. But how can I be sure you want me to? You want me to. What can I do? What can I do? To make you love me. To make you understand my heart. Would surely break if we should part. I know that I must find a way to make you love me. For I only live so I can give my heart to you. What can I do? What can I do?
You know, that's got to be my favorite sophomores tune. The sophomores, this group of sophomores, there was multiple sophomores groups. One of them was from Philadelphia. Anthony and the Sophomores. But this group came from Massachusetts. They recorded for Dawn Records. And I like some of their bluesy nature, but also very pop-oriented. And this one, they didn't have a big hit with this. There was a big hit with this song by another artist, but this is Linda. The Sophomores.
When I go to sleep, I never count sheep. I count all the charms about Linda. And lately it seems, in all of my dreams, I walk with my arms about Linda. But what good does it do me? For Linda doesn't know that I exist. Linda doesn't know that I exist. Can't help feeling gloomy. Think of all the loving I've missed. We pass on the street.
Hello, Chief
My
Vince.
heart skips a beat. I say to myself, hello, Linda. If only she'd smile, I'd stop for a while, and then I would get to know Linda. But miracles still happen, and when my lucky star begins to shine, with one lucky break I'll make Linda mine.
I used to know that story. Thank you, Dave Swinger. I had completely forgotten. Talking about Linda.
I say to myself, hello, Linda. If only she'd smile, I'd stop for a while, and then I would get to know Linda. But miracles still happen, and when my lucky star begins to shine, with one lucky break I'll make Linda.
Yes, true story. That story was written for a lawyer's daughter. The daughter was named Linda Eastman, who married a guy named Paul McCartney. And that was the Linda McCartney, for whom this song had been written, and I completely forgot that story. So thank you, Dave Swinger. I love having Dave Swinger around. He knows things. A lot. And he's a nice guy. And I got a soft spot for Dave right here. Even though it sounds hard. That sounds hard, but it's soft and it's here. Is it there? Wait, let me feel it. Okay, yes, I do feel something. There is something ticking in there. Here we go. All right. I like this tune also that the sophomores did. It's kind of depressing and sad, but sometimes you just gotta get a little sad. I left my sugar in the rain.
Hiddity-pat, sugar, hiddity-pat, sugar, hiddity-pat.
These minor chords, minor notes they make.
'Cause I left my sugar standing in the rain, and my sugar melted away. Sweeter than the sugar from a sugar cane. Didn't mean to treat her that way. I guess my sweetie thought I was a low down kind. Didn't realize that she was so refined. 'Cause I left my sugar standing in the rain, and my sugar melted away. I guess my sweetie thought I was a low down kind. Didn't realize that she was so refined.
Chief Vince, do we know one another?
My sugar standing in the rain, and my sweetie melted away. Sugar, hiddity-pat, sugar, hiddity-pat, sugar, hiddity-pat, sugar, hiddity-pat.
Okay, I like those minor chords. Yes, I have been in broadcasting. I don't know if I know you, if you know me. I don't know who you are. So, you can let me know. Because I don't want to stand here talking like an idiot, but I'm just saying, like, yes, I have been in broadcasting, but Twitch is a different kind of a feel. And if I could have a radio station, I would. If it could be lucrative, if it could be something that could make some money, yes, I would have a radio station. And I think I would manage it in a way that it could be successful, not just as radio, but a multimedia platform. So we would have the FM component because, I like to think that there's hope to cling to that for the future in some way. Perhaps it will revive, but not just that one singular medium, but multimedia and on platforms, streaming platforms that would exponentially advance the listenership. Because when I started on radio, it was just radio. So Dave Swinger, I just want to say, I appreciate you being here because you do help me out. You fill in the blanks. When I draw a blank, you're there to fill it in. You're sharp as hell, and I love that about you. And yes, right here I have the soft spot in my heart, and I had to make sure it was actually working. I had to make sure I felt a beat, a pulse, something, so that I know that I could legitimately feel that for you. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Gotcha, Chief Vince. All right. I think I have managed to figure out my problems, and I got some counseling, some consulting, and I think I figured out the problem. So I'm going to try to go back one more time, and if I fail, because I haven't been on Twitch lately, and this is the kind of thing, I forget settings, I forget my setup, but if I fail this time, then I will just, I'll give up. I will give up on trying to play things from the computer. Okay, I think we're good. Grand Funk Railroad, live at Shea Stadium, 1971, right here at Studio Chatter Radio. My name is Christine Vitale. This is Christine Vitale's vocal groups and other music for undeniable gratification. Let's enjoy Grand Funk Railroad. Fans look so young. Listen how good Mark Farner is.
Days and mornings, and it's months and I
Okay. Grand Funk Railroad. So Chief Vince, you had your dad turn you on to this? I come from a huge family, and I was actually the 9th of 10 children. My parents were of a previous generation. They didn't start having children when they were really young. They were in their late 20s or 30 when they started having children, and I was 9th of 10, of all the children born. So the people who turned me on to this kind of music were not parents. They were older siblings who were coming of age at the time that this stuff was popular. I was still too young. But it's cool that you had parents who loved this stuff. My parents, I loved my mom. Truly, I did. My father, that's kind of a different story. He couldn't stand anybody with long hair. Hippies, he hated that. He would hate this stuff. He would not even allow this stuff to be played in the house. So it was only played when he wasn't there. Okay, so Butternut Dave had asked for Smithereens, and I'm gonna go for it. I was hoping I could find a live version of it, something live, but I got a live version. I can't say I know what it's gonna sound like sonically, like to make sure that it's going to be of a quality that's listenable, because some of the stuff that I pull off of YouTube, it's so rough sounding. Wow, sorry, that was sudden, but here you go. Cut Flowers, the Smithereens. Okay, so what just happened here? What happened with the recording? It's buffering. Well, that's a new experience for me here in something like this. Okay. It's a good thing I'm not popular on Twitch. Imagine if I had hundreds or thousands of people here. Holy Shiite, I'd have to hide.
Say
Thank you so much.
See, by sticking with live cuts, I'll be able to post this later, I hope, by not playing things that are gonna have it be flagged. Okay, so we are doing some Smithereens tunes, and I'm trying to scroll back and read some of your comments, because I don't want you to be commenting and I'm not even reading them. I'm trying to read them. Even if I'm playing something that's a video. But this looks interesting. Something that's playing that looks very like old blues material, and I don't know what it is, but I'm interested. Okay, this old blues looking guy playing an electric guitar in a field somewhere. Okay, it's this channel's Alan Lomax arc. So it's, and you know I can't see, right? You do know that, right? So let me just read up close. R.L. Burnside, See My Jumper Hanging on the Line, 1978.
See my jumper log hit out on the line. See my jumper log hit out on the line. Know about that, something on my mind. Wouldn't I have been here, baby, Lord, if it hadn't have been for you.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do...
Sorry about that. The commercial. But that is R.L. Burnside, At Home in Independence, Mississippi, shot by Alan Lomax back in 1978. So that's where that came from. That was new to me. That just popped up. I am going to soon have to go because I have to try to get to sleep sooner rather than later. I have a tendency to have really bad habits, a lot of them. And I'm trying to fix some of them, at least. Okay. Well, Chief Vince, I guess you've been around a while, so I do see, yes, you said long-time lurker. I do see that I've been told 1 year, 8 months, 4 days, and 20 hours. It's a wonder you keep that you've done this for that long. Okay. I'm going to have to work on getting out of here. So I want to play something that I know is going to be safe to play, so I could post this video. I want to post this video so that I can promote Dave Revels, because I will be at the Cutting Room on Tuesday, September 12th, the Cutting Room in New York City. Let me show you my flyer. I'll be at the Cutting Room. I'll be hosting this show. I am... Sorry, just give me a chance to find it. This is so bad. I'm so out of practice. I really am. Okay, but I wanted to bring this to you, and I'll get right up at the mic so you can look at me if you feel like it, or look at the poster. I will be hosting, greeting people, and introducing Dave Revels on this night when he's celebrating his birthday at the Cutting Room, 44 East 32nd Street. I better get the address straight because, I am going to have to get over there. Easy enough to do. And he's got his album called Stories from My Heart. Dave Revels, who stepped into the Persuasions. When he came to this country from England, he ended up being able to sing with, eventually, the Drifters. He got a position in the Drifters, or one of those Drifters groups. And he joined up with the Persuasions and actually led the Persuasions, and really did help escalate their status and reignite some opportunities for them that, without his leadership perhaps would not have happened. So he was definitely a great addition for the Persuasions. But not to be a one-dimensional person, Dave has pursued his own interests musically, and he's got this album, Stories from My Heart, that he's promoting now. But he also has his group called Shadows of the 60s, where it's a Motown tribute, and it's done to a very high level. So much so, let me tell you, if Butternut Dave is around, he should appreciate this. When Paul Stanley from Kiss had his birthday in 2022, on January 20th, he hired Dave to perform with his Shadows of the 60s for his birthday party out in LA. They flew them all to LA, and I'm sure they were paid very handsomely, because it's a very high caliber Motown tribute. There's many Motown tributes. Some are a little better than others, but I will say that what Dave does is really to the highest standard. And if Paul Stanley hired him, I think they're good. I think they must be good. And I've seen them, because Dave incorporates, well, I don't want to give away secrets, but come to the Cutting Room if you're in New York City or in the New York metro area on Tuesday, September 12th, for Dave's birthday. Got to wish him a happy birthday. And if you're having a birthday around that same time, just use his party. It's already, put together. So, 44 East 32nd Street in New York City. I'll be there. It's a 7 p.m. show. I'll be there early. I'll be greeting people. And I will be introducing Dave and take over at intermission if he's using an intermission. But we're going to... So Dave Swinger then, yes, if it's your unbirthday, come on over and be a part of it. Come on over and be a part of it. You should be. Anyway, come on over. So even if it's your birthday or it's your unbirthday, come on over. That's a good idea. All right. Here's Steve Dunham. One of his cuts I really like. You Waited Too Long. Stevie Dunham, Las Vegas Street Corner Harmony. But he's from Brooklyn though. Street credibility.
Hello, love. It's nice to see you again. I hope that someday we can still be friends. I know this line will help you feel better, but a love you can't see, it just can't last forever. You waited too long. So broken hearted, all I could think of was you and how our love started. You said someday that you would return, and that's why my heart started to burn, 'cause you waited too long. Child, I couldn't go on. Now that I found myself another love that loves me with all of her heart. Let me hear you shout it to me. She's all give our love a brand new song. 'Cause you waited too long. Child, I couldn't go on. Girl, you waited too long. I couldn't go on. Yeah. You waited too long.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for the time that you spent here. I appreciate the interaction, the pleasant interaction, the nice conversations that have occurred here this evening. From Butternut Dave on up, who was my first visitor, Butternut Dave, Joey Sandra, Blaze, Dave Swinger, Chief Vince, and a host of bots. And also Doo-Wop Forever, who seems to have exited. And a host of bots. And who knows who else has been lurking around. You see, Chief Vince, I didn't even know you were there. So a lot of people can lurk, and I won't even know it until you surface, till you rise up to the surface and come clean. So thanks for being here. I'm going to say goodnight now. I almost don't want to, but I have to. And I'll try to come back here again sooner so that I could have a little bit more control over what I'm doing and be back in the swing so that things run like this, not this. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Let me fix it. Let me fix it. Let's see if I can figure it out. Let me figure it out. Can I figure it out? Can I figure it out? Oh, let me look over here. Maybe I messed up something here, or over there. I got to fix this. Thank you, Vicky G, for being here. I'm getting ready to say goodnight, and I will see you again sometime soon. Remember, Christine Vitale's vocal groups and other music for undeniable gratification. Good night, all.